When I looked at my phone, Gerald called 3 times, but no one answered. The lawyer I hired. Then I got a text that made the blood froze. Please call me right now, Tom. Don't go to the place where your daughter lives. I really do mean it. I was getting ready to put on my coat to go to Lindsay's house and go to Springbank for dinner on Sunday. My daughter had been so pushy this week. Dad, you don't come over anymore. Your kids want to see you. I'm making you put your favorite roast in a pan. I couldn't say no to that. But Gerald's writing style changed, all of it. I sat down on my Mary, and I sat on the leather couch, picked out 32 years ago when they bought this house in Mount Royal. My wife, who passed away, knew what to do. She always did. But no one had seen her in 4 years. I had been living in this world for a long time now. I've been alone since then. When I called Gerald's a lot of people whose hands are shaking. Hey, Tom. The voice was clear and well-trained, but Ty could hear the worry below. Where are you at this moment? Are you alone? Where am I? Gerald, go home. What's going on? I'm afraid. Fine, stay still. Keep the doors. I'm going. We need to talk to each other. You have to see some things in person, the papers I got this morning. 20. Gerald sat down next to me after a little while, putting papers on the table in my dining room, like they were evidence of a crime. They must have been at the scene of a crime. Hey, Tom. Your daughter Lindsay was born 3 days ago. She and her husband Derek were the ones who filed it, with the Court of Queen's bench. He stopped and looked at me very seriously, like a lawyer would. It was found that your mental health was bad. They want to be your legal guardians and take care of everything that belongs to you. The words hit me like a punch in the gut. Two really did feel dizzy. That's what's insane. I'm not 97. I'm 67. I give your time to the food bank. I take care of Mito make their own investments. I just signed up for I didn't have any when I got my license last month. Problems. I got more and more scared as my voice got louder. Coming in. Why would they do that? Gerald pushed another piece of paper my way. This means that your house is now worth 2.4 million or so. Your investments are worth 1.8 pounds. Million you get from your savings and retirement fund. You own things that are worth a little more than $5 million. I was at ease. Mary and I put in a lot of effort and saved money. They were careful and made good choices with their money. I had spent 35 years as an oil engineer before quitting your job. But reading it out loud like that was very professional and to the point. Lindsay, I told you that he knows how much the house is worth. Slowly. We talked about this. Last Christmas we talked about the housing market. She made a joke. I felt like I was on top of a gold mine. I wasn't kidding, Tom. Gerald pulled out he aimed his laptop at me. Look at this. Derek and your daughter are in a lot of trouble with money. They got that house in Springbank is 5,000 square feet. 3 years ago in Hills. 650,000 money. After that, Derek made her. He paid his business partner doing business with cryptocurrencies. They lost $400,000. To send your grandson to Josh's private school, it costs $38,000 each year. Their property-paying taxes costs $22,000 a year. And when I looked at the screen, my head spun. Do you know anything about all of this? Because of their money issues are a part of their ask for. They say they want to protect your things from your mind getting worse before you do not being smart with your cash. Tom, he seemed to be like being unhappy. They have been working on a case against you for at least 6 months. He showed me the evidence. Some photos of me at Safeway, who seemed confused in the cereal aisle. I only wanted to find out which brand Margaret used to buy. A note from their doctor, Dr. Patel, who had seen how I looked. Getting lost during a checkup. I had a bad cold that day and forgot what the medicine I already took. Conversation on tape in which I forgot the number for my own phone. They had my old number from before. I switched service providers. Every normal thing an old person does, how life became proof of being unable to do something. But I told you this was a scam. My voice was low. This is bad for the old people. Yes, it is. I'm sorry, Tom, but it's happening more and more often. Adult kids running after their parents, their wills before they pass away. The courts are getting more and more of these kinds of cases. Gerald shut down his computer. The hearing is going to happen in 2 weeks. They moved quickly, so they probably tried to catch you, without any warning. What will happen if they win? The law protects you. They take care of your money and your home. They can earn money. your house and move you into assisted living, make all the decisions about your health. You'd have to give up a lot of your freedom. Yes, for sure. Then Tom leaned forward. It would depend on how much money they have. I think they would take your house on in 3 months. The house where Lindsay was raised by Margaret and me, where we having dinners for Christmas and birthdays events, where we put the garden together, where she passed away held my hand in the bedroom upstairs. I whispered to Lindsay, "They can't do this, not at all." "That's my kid." "I'm sorry, Tom, but the proof shows that in addition to that, they've been getting ready for this. Be careful. They didn't do anything until you were done. Had a minor car accident last year. They wrote down everything you forgot. You forgot your name or an appointment. They've making a story. I remember that crash. I was on my way home from when a teen drove her. They hit me when the light was red. The cops. The report made it clear that I wasn't at fault, but now I understood why Lindsay had been so determined to go to all of my that appointments with the doctor. Why she had begun to write things down on her phone every time we talked. She was getting ready. Bullets, what should I do? It was tough for me. I was scared, mad, and betrayed all at the same time. One time, Ernest stood up straight, and his expression that changes from being sorry for planned. We fight back and keep going. Clever. But Tom, I need to know if you are you ready for what this could mean? This isn't just a case in court. This is going to break up your family. I thought Lindsay, when she was a child, how she would tell me to do it while I was sitting on my lap. Read her stories before she goes to bed. What she would not giving up and crying at Margaret's funeral to me, like I was her anchor. What she would do, she told me she loved me last week. But after that, I thought about what she was up to do right now. The plan and the breakup, being dishonest and willing to hurt others, her dad's pride in himself and money for freedom. Let me know what we need to do. He smiled, but it wasn't real. A smile that made me happy. The smile was like a lawyer who had been given the go-ahead to do something to battle. First, we are going to write everything down. From this point on, you will write a lot in your journal. What you do every day and who you talk to. Everything you do makes sense. I want names, dates, times, details, and proof that you're not insane. Okay, second, Anne will do an evaluation on you. A psychiatrist who isn't involved in the case at all. Not the family doctor they have already made a difference for, but a professional in how the minds of old people are doing. Someone who can show that your mind is clear. Okay, third, and this is very important, Tom. You can't tell them you have to be honest. If they learn, they could move faster, because we know what they're doing. They can either get rid of proof or make plans. That all of a sudden, the dinner invitation went bad. It makes sense. They asked me to come tonight for they had a reason, didn't they? I think they wanted you to sign something. A document that gives someone else the right to act on your behalf came in, with some other papers. Only every month, Dad, make a plan for your money. Or they might have put on a show, caught you getting lost for a second to support your claim. It was incredible how they did it. What did she do to me? The words came out. I knew I was crying when my heart broke. 67, my kid was 8 years old and had gotten smaller. Made me cry. There was a hand on my around the neck. For a long time I've been a lawyer. It's been 30 years, Tom. It's been seen too many times. People change when they get money. It might also be shows what they were really like all along. For the next week I did what Gerald told me to do, to the letter. I held on. Detailed diaries that wrote down everything from when I do the crossword puzzle in the morning. You can work shifts as a volunteer at the Calgary Food Bank. I met with Dr. Sarah Chen, psychiatrist, who put me in by giving them a series of mental tests. I got a score that was much higher than what most people my age get. Group. What did Dr. Chen say after Mr. Morrison? Now that we've met 3 times, I can say with completely trust their work that it doesn't seem like you're going crazy. If you have dementia, you can't think clearly. Sure, you remember a lot and you can think clearly. You are smart and sharp. Science, a lot of people don't think you're as smart as you are, half of your age. But what was the hardest was as if everything was fine with Lindsay. She called on Wednesday. I'm sorry, Dad, about Sunday. We had to help Derek's mom get up after she fell to get there fast. Can we change the time? Weekend? I said, of course, sweetheart. The compliment made my mouth taste like ash in my mouth. Is she all right? Thanks for asking. She's fine. You already know how wild she can be. Lindsay, I laughed. That sound was so nice to me my entire life. Dad, while it was nice to talk to you, Derek. You know about setting up a trust to be safe when you make your will. just in case you know we're not getting any younger. I tried again, even though the date of the court is coming up. She was still trying to get me to give her legal help in charge. I think that's a good idea. That's what I said. I need to give it some thought. Don't think too much, Dad. These things need to be done right away. You never know what will happen next. It could happen. Was that a warning? He couldn't tell anymore. That night, Josh, my grandson, called me. He was 15 years old, nice kid. That's what I thought, at least. Can I come over, Grandpa Tom? I need to talk to you in private. Of course, Josh. Is everything all right? I need to meet with you, please. He got there in 20 minutes, his bike. His face got red because of get in the car. He looked scared. Grandpa is what I need. To show you something, but you have to. I promise I won't tell my parents that I told you so. It hurt my heart. Josh, what is it? He picked up his phone with shaky hands. I heard them talk last week. My parents didn't know I was there. Home. I wrote it down. Sorry, I understand. I understood what they said. Even though it wasn't right. I thought you should know what they said. He hit play. And I heard my daughter. Derek filled my kitchen. In 2 weeks there will be a hearing. Ernest, we are Morrison's lawyers, but listen to what Dr. Patel has to say. We have the pictures. Everything is written down. There was a voice that said, what if? What does your dad do to fight it? Planned. Each time of not showing up for appointments and forgetting things. The judge always looked like he didn't get it. We'll see a pattern of things getting worse mentally. No matter how hard he tries, it won't matter. Lawyer fees that cost him hundreds of thousands of dollars. There won't be any fees once it's done. There won't be much left over for the estate anyway. And if the house goes up when we win, mark it right away. In this market after that, we should still have $1.8 million left. Once we pay off the mortgage, we won't have to worry about anything else. Gets us back even though they lost money on crypto to $0. And then we sell his paying off our debts and investments loan and set up the trust for Josh's going to class. What about your dad? There was a break. Then they asked, where will he go? I had never heard Lindsay's voice sound so cold before. I heard it. There is a nice helper. He lives in a place that costs a lot less. He'll be okay. He is better than Mount Royal. In a little while, you won't even notice the difference. Josh began to cry, but he didn't speak. Grandpa, he was crying. Sorry, I didn't know what to do. People are saying I love you and you act like you're there. But you're not. I hugged my brave grandson, just lied to his parents to keep his granddad. You did the right thing. You did the right thing, Josh. Will they take this seriously? Your house? The one you and I don't want to because my grandma lived there. No, friend, I won't do that. I called Gerald right away. As soon as he heard it, after recording, he was quiet for a long time. Tom, this changes everything for the time being. This is very strong proof of fraud and abuse of the elderly. We can show you with this recording. Don't just protect yourself from them. We ask and then we attack. What do you do? I see what you mean. We're filing a counterclaim. Lying and cheating to get money, taking advantage of someone who is weak. Tom is involved in a plan to steal. We will make sure that every judge in the Queen's bench knows what your daughter was trying to do. It came sooner than I had thought it would. Sat next to Josh in court. My hand in his. On the other side of the aisle, Lindsay and Derek were with their lawyer, a man who looks good in high-end clothes. Lindsay wouldn't look me in the eye. The judge in charge was Maria Rodriguez. She was 50 years old and her hair was steel gray, a look that said she had seen first. Her lawyer took care of everything, making their case. The photos, Dr. Patel's notes are records of he drew a picture of what he thought was going on, of a sad thing. A daughter who cared, taking care of her sick father from himself. Mr. Morrison, Your Honor, appears to still be in its early stages of going crazy. His daughter, Miss Morrison, Fletcher just wants to check to see if her dad is big. The estate is safe and in good hands, but not until he makes the right choices that could put his own money at risk. Then it was Gerald's turn to be safe. Thank you. Your Honor, I'd like to introduce an examination of Sarah Chen's mental health. That was only last week. Dr. Chen discovered there is no proof that your brain is getting worse going down. Mr. Morrison really better than most people his age in every way, parts of brain power. He sent in. The judge read the report slowly. I want to show that the is the wife of Miss Morrison Fletcher and her have a system for keeping track of things, normal signs of getting older and showing them to show how bad they were at their jobs. Mr. Morrison at Safeway doesn't know what's going on. Was looking for a specific type of cereal. The mess at his workspace. He had the flu and a nosebleed, fever of 101 degrees, the phone that was forgotten number. He had just switched service providers and was still getting used to the new number. Gerald carefully took it apart, all of their evidence. But the most important thing is that I have proof of honor. The main reason for this request. He played the tape that Josh had. The courtroom for Lindsay and Derrick was quiet. You could hear voices that were cold and planned, saying things about, my will as if I were already dead. The house is for sale after the person dies. Sell his shares as soon as you can. He won't even know about the photo before long. The judge's his face got worse every time he talked. After the recording was over, Gerald kept going. Honorable, this is not a loving. This is a daughter who cares about her dad. A planned way to get money, Miss Morrison Fletcher said. Exploitation. They are having trouble with money. She and her husband are having problems because they put their money in the wrong places. Could earn more than $5 million by Morrison said he couldn't do it. They have changed their medical records, took staged photos and made up a story. Everyone has their own story to tell. Lindsay's lawyer stole all of her father's money, quickly got up. Respected. This I didn't want the recording to be made without telling or getting permission from the client. It's not okay. In a criminal case, Justice Rodriguez might have stopped him. But this is a civil case about. This is something that really interests me. Why people act the way they do. This petition, she said to Lindsay. Miss Morrison Fletcher, what do you want? To tell you what you're talking about, taking down your dad's house and throwing away his things while he's... It's clear that sound mind? Lindsay told them. He tried to talk, but nothing came out. Your Honor, she said. Finally, I finished it. That tape was taken out of context. We are going to talk about how to get ready for an estate. Making plans for an estate that, putting your dad in a nice, little helped find a place to live in Erdry, while you'll get almost $2 million from the judges. Voice was selling his house. I have been Miss Morrison Fletcher, I understand. I've been sitting on this bench for 18 years. I know what financial abuse of the elderly looks like. Justice Rodriguez read through the papers for a long time in front of her. She looked Lindsay straight in the eye and Derrick. I'm going to throw this petition away with bias, which means it can't be filed again. I'm also giving away an order of protection. Miss Morrison Fletcher and Mr. Fletcher can't do it. From calling or going to see Mr. Morrison less than 100 met from his house for at least 2 years. I also mean in this case, to the Crown of Alberta Prosecution Service for any charges of fraud and abuse of the elderly abuse. Her face said when she looked at me, a little less harsh, Mr. Morrison. I'm sorry for what you did through. No. Parents should have made you go through what your daughter is going through. I'm telling everyone who has the right to know you should pay for your own defense. The people who asked for it paid for it. Think you should think about changing your will to keep it safe, stop yourself from trying. Again, Lindsay was crying at this point because of the manipulation. But they weren't sad tears, were tears from someone who had just lost. Please, Dad, she begged. Hey, Dad, you found out when court was over. I turned to look at and said, you need to get it. That was the last time I saw her. My daughter, I taught the girl how to ride a bike, who I had walked down the aisle with at her. I thought I knew them from their wedding. Hey, Lindsay, I understand. Tell them you were ready to. I understand why you want to kill me for money. You didn't think of your dad as a person. I thought of it as a house to sell. Know that the mum you said you had to have loved so much would make you look bad of who you are now. Josh squeezed my grandson had the guts to do it, to be good, even if it meant he lied to his parents. Grandpa, yes, Josh, it's time to go home. We were leaving. The Gerald walked with me as we left the courthouse. That was hard, Tom. How are you? Sorry, but I don't know. I know that not all blood is family and not all family is blood family. Today I lost a daughter, but you learned that I raised at one person who is honest. In the evening on Mount Washington, sitting in my house, the house my wife and I built, Royal, I talked to my lawyer about our lives one last time. I need to change my mind again. Gerald, everything including the house, the investments, and other things. I want to set up a trust for Josh as Lindsay goes to school and thinks about what she wants to do with her life. She made her choice. It wasn't even $1. Are you sure, Tom? That's forever. This is me. Yes, Gerald, I want it. It was made clear why I want the will. Tell me exactly what she tried to do so that if she ever tries to fight it, there will be a judge who knows everything. You can be sure of it. Josh is living with me now. His parents kicked him out after a week when they found out he had recorded they were 15 years old and had chosen money instead of their own son. But Josh had a big house and a big heart. Someone had to meet his needs. Set up a new morning routine breakfast. They did their homework together before school. At the dinner table, trips to the Josh helped me with the gardening in the mountains, putting the vegetables where Margaret did to help her grow roses. Grandpa, he said, we were getting ready to go on a Saturday morning. Weeds, do you ever forget about her? Mom, I sat down, thinking about the question a lot. It's not about them, Josh, not letting what they do hurt you. Do I forgive you for the rest of your life? I'm not going to do what your mother wanted me to do. Will you be able to see her again? Not likely, but I'm not going to waste my time for the next few years. I was very angry. I still have too much life to live. You can help me with it now. I stood next to Josh we looked at the new things together. In the garden, put up a plaque with Margaret's name and we picked the dates and the quote together. Family isn't always blood. It's the people who are there for you when everyone else leaves. Do you think, Grandma, Josh asked, do you think your grandma would have loved? She would have been so proud of it. You. My phone rang. It was Tom. I thought you should know. Decided to file charges against Lindsay, and Derek said he tried to cheat. Their sentences were put on hold, and they did it on their own, even though they had to serve 2 years of probation. It is now official, which means that it's over. They can't go back to this. Your property is safe. You are free to live your life the way you want to. Live the rest of your life in peace. A look at Josh, who was watering the plants that we put in the ground together. My grandson saved me, and I was able to. Thanks for saving, Gerald. That night after school, I read to Josh while he did his homework. He did his work while we read together. Lindsay knew something very important, tried to take everything I had away from me. My pride, my house, my money, and my freedom. But what she really taught me what was important. Not the $2.4 million house. I was happy to keep it. Not the bank or the stock portfolio accounts. What mattered was sitting down. He sat in front of me and chewed on his pencil. I figured out how to do my algebra problems. It wasn't about duty or family. It was about the people who got the cash. It appeared when things went wrong was about a 15-year-old boy who took a chance. They tried their best to do the right thing about starting over and getting a second chance. Margaret used to say when there's a Lindsay made it clear that she stood to lose something, was willing to give up her father. For Josh taught me how to protect my money. That being brave and honest could still exist. Among the youngest individuals, even I am 67 years old. I've learned a lot more since then. More in the last 6 months than I did I've learned that over the last 67 years, you can't just trust someone. You have to earn it. That people who say they care about you, people who hurt you the most may also be the ones who I've learned that that's what hurt you the most. What you say doesn't really show that you care. About things you do alone. The most important thing is that I now know how to do it by myself, that you can always stand up for you. That weakness isn't. Asking for help is a sign of weakness. Being brave and standing up to people want to use you isn't mad. It's to everyone out there self-defense. Who might be going through this? Let me say this. If someone in your family wants to let you know that you are not able to deal with to get what you've earned, get a lawyer and fight back. Always trust your gut. Keep in mind that you are worth more than your money is more valuable than your things. You're not crazy or lost. You are not crazy. If someone is trying hard to hurt your system, know how. It's because they want to. Someone doesn't want you. They want something from you. You are the adult child of an older parent. Parents, if you read this, remember you don't own it until someone gives it to you. You don't have to give your parents any money. Their money, their things or their house, they earned it. So they get to choose what happens. And if you try to make it happen, you are dishonest or manipulative. Even if you win the money, you will lose it. You'll lose something much more valuable. Don't worry. Lindsay has 1.5 years of work, a lot of hours of manipulation, and probably hundreds of an inheritance of a few $1,000s. What did it cost her? Her son, her father. She kept her good name and pride. You should ask her if it was worth it, but I think she will when she's alone. Someone else knows the answer. I don't, though. Taking care of a grandson and growing plants and still had a lot of time to live. The Mount Royal house is more than just a nice place. It's not worth millions of dollars anymore. It's home, where Joshua is turning into a man of... That's where the memories of being honest come from. There are still signs of Margaret everywhere. It's where family and the law were served. It changed. And there's more. More than all the money in the world.